3-axis gimbal systems are no new technology, and having previously taken a look at several examples for both smartphones as well as action cameras, this time we're upgrading to something a little larger and a little more professional, perfect for compact and mirrorless cameras, the Crane-M. Zhiyun-Tech are no new players to gimbal systems and have various examples tailored to cater for a variety of uses. The Crane-M is one of their newest additions to the family, perfect for those taking their videography to the next level, supporting cameras up to 650 grams in weight and even allowing for remote operation. Within the package is a high quality hard shell carry case, carrying a premium design complete with rubberized handle and a dual zipper. Inside, along with a user manual and other literature, we find two 3600 mAh batteries, complete with a charging module and USB to micro USB cable, and finally we have the gimbal unit itself. With a completely aluminum construction, the Zhiyun Crane-M feels premium through and through. Seriously, this is one of the most premium feeling gimbals I've tested to date. Although with that metal construction, it is slightly heavier than the smaller units we've tested in the past at 740 grams, but it still feels relatively comfortable to hold single-handed. The split handle design, complete with a textured finish for some added gripability, houses the two included batteries, which screws securely into the main gimbal unit. Further up the handle we have the thumbstick for small adjustments while recording, along with a status LED, a mode and a power button, the latter of which doubles up as a shutter button. Coupled with the small slider switch, users are able to control zoom and shutter functions for compatible cameras. Finally, a micro USB port located on the side can be used for firmware updates. The rest of the build is all mechanical, with solid aluminum all round. The brushless motors are super smooth with a full 360-degree rotation across all 3 axes. Unlike smaller gimbals, manual adjustment knobs are located on each axis, used to balance the attached camera, and with some practice balancing does become easier. Talking of the camera, compact and mirrorless cameras being supported, or any camera up to 650 grams in weight for that matter, and is held in place with a thumbscrew beneath the mounting plate. Once in place, we balance the tilt axis by releasing a thumb dial beneath the camera and sliding the entire camera back or forward until it balances as best as possible. And with the lens facing upwards, a dial by the tilt motor can be used to further refine the axis. The roll axis can be balanced in a similar fashion by moving the arm until the camera remains level and tightening the thumbscrew once done. Finally, we repeat the same procedure to balance the pan axis. In essence, all of this balancing reduces any unnecessary stress on the motors, so you'll want to spend some time getting it right. After a few attempts and a little practice, the entire process does become easier, resulting in a well-balanced camera. Once happy, switch the gimbal on and within seconds it's ready to use, stabilising the camera across all 3 axes. To make things even easier, the Zhiyun Assistant app, freely available on both Android and iOS platforms, connects to the gimbal using low power Bluetooth. Once connected, users are able to manage the different gimbal functions, such as monitoring the interface, switching between different gimbal modes as well as controlling all thumbstick movements, calibrating the device should it deviate slightly from a level position, and even update firmware. Alternatively, available as a separate accessory is a Zhiyun remote, controlling all aspects of the camera from a distance. When used with a compatible Sony or Panasonic camera, we can even control shutter and other camera functions remotely, making this a seriously versatile system. If you've used a smartphone or action camera gimbal, then this should be easy to grasp. If you've never used a gimbal before, you might have a small learning curve to deal with. The most important thing is to familiarise yourself with the different modes and options available, each locking different axes depending upon your shooting style and particular scenario. The hardest part is calibration. It will take you a bit to figure out and get right, but that's to be expected with this level of precision movement. The second hardest part is operating it and moving with it. Even though you are now stabilising the camera's roll, pitch and yaw axis, you now have to worry about your own Z axis. In other words, the movement your body makes when walking, kind of like a bounce. In order to eliminate the bounce from your Z axis, it's important to walk with your knees bent slightly when using the Zhiyun crane. This will stabilise your Z-axis and eliminate most of the bounce in your videos, or at least make it more subtle. All that's left is mastering the joystick and button controls. These will allow you to pan left and right, up and down, and also roll the camera for smooth pan shots. Overall, it's easy to get the hang of using the Zhiyun Crane-M, but this product is really intended for those who want the most absolutely smooth shots you can get without spending a fortune on a real Steadicam. For the average user, smaller smartphone or action camera gimbals are going to be just fine. The Zhiyun Crane-M is focused on those mirrorless camera owners who want to bring their filmmaking up a few notches. Bear in mind though, with the 740 grams of weight on the gimbal alone, plus up to 650 grams for the attached camera, longer shooting sessions can get a little tiresome. Talking of longer shooting sessions, battery life will vary and depend upon the size of the camera and how big of a lens you put on it. The heavier the equipment, the more work the gimbal has to do. Nevertheless, battery life is relatively good. I was easily able to get through an entire day, much more than the attached camera would shoot for. The bottom line is, this thing is not hard to use, but be prepared to put some thought, effort and work into learning a few things at least. The design of the Zhiyun Crane-M is very much like that of a blown-up action camera or smartphone gimbal, albeit a little heavier. This is a very solid build, making you feel like you've spent your money well for such high quality materials. The overall design isn't mind-blowing, but it's simple, sleek and functional, not to mention solid. Zhiyun did a fantastic job here and it's right on par with some of the more expensive competitors on the market. The gimbal even comes with a very well made hard shell case you'll usually only find with high end products. The case is padded with foam for superior shock protection and it's really a great addition to the value. I'm impressed with the quality of craftsmanship at a much lower price point than name brand gimbals. In essence, this is a specialised product that isn't for everyone, but for those who are interested and in the market, this is a smashing deal and it can be a great tool in your bag of videography tricks. Performance is fantastic and the entire package comes well recommended.